that's mighty sweet. Liberty sows its seed at Farpoint Farms.
Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Check it out. I got another one of these lithium-ion batteries to review. I'm happy that the folks over at Goldenmate decided they wanted to send me this to check out. If these are not already on your radar, I hope that this video will put them on your radar because these things are pretty darn cool. A regular conventional AGM, absorbed glass mat, or deep cycle battery is going to provide you with 50% of its rated capacity. So if it's a 100 amp hour battery, its actual usable rating is 50 amp hours. Now, discharge it below 50%, and when it comes back to life, 98% is its new 100%. Repeat this a few times and you have a very dead, very expensive, very heavy lead acid battery. That is why lithium batteries are so much better for use in off-grid applications or for trolling motors or for motor homes. If it says 100 amp hours, it's going to give you all 100 amp hours of usable amperage. So half the weight, twice the actual capacity. Pretty easy to come up with that math. You can of course add these in series or in parallel to create higher voltages or higher amperage hour setup. So my solar system down at the bottom, and I don't know, what do you call a solar system? Is like our solar system. I've always wanted to know the answer to this. Please leave it in the comments. Solar setup, solar power station, solar whatever. I call it a solar system, but it's what do you call the entire package? The panels, the inverter, the charge controller, and the batteries. Let me know in the comments because I really don't know what to call my setup down there, so I just call it a solar system. But my solar system has banks of these. So I have two stacked together to create 24 volts at 100 amps. And then I have those also set up in parallel so I can have multiple banks. So I end up with a total of 500 amp hours, which is a lot. So let's go ahead and open this one up. We'll check it out. I'll tell you a little bit more about why I think you should own a setup like this, because we live in what I would call interesting times. Some people move to solar for other off-grid applications. Some people do that because they are trying to save the environment. Other people do it for more of a just-in-case type scenario, and that's kind of the group that I'm in. I like being off the grid because it saves us money. I don't have to give other people my money for their power. In fact, some days they give me money for my power, which is kind of cool. Anyway, this is the Goldenmate model LFP12100. It is 12.8 volts, 100 amp hours, which gives you 1,280 watt hours. As you can see, it's not all that imposing a setup. It's in a plastic container here. On the front, however, we do have the model number and some warnings. Charge voltage is 14.6 volts maximum, 20 amp discharge, and charge current 50 amp is max. 100 amps is the total capacity, and then we have some temperature readings in Celsius. So freezing to 50 degrees Celsius, which is about 140. That's your charge. To discharge it, you can go all the way down to about 4 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way up to a lot higher. We'd basically be dead at that temperature. So there we go. And it did come with a little owner's manual here. Solar, lighter weight, longer life, higher power, increased flexibility, and wider temperature range is what it's boasting. It is a nice little color, very small but color manual. Talks about series and parallel connections. And it's saying a maximum of 4 of each of those is about what it wants. And it is a lithium iron phosphate battery. It weighs 11.7 kilograms, which would be what, about 25 pounds maybe. How's that for conversions? I'm getting better with math as I get older. It's made out of ABS plastic on the outside here, and it is 100 amp hours, as we've said before. And that, yeah, it's got a 12-month warranty. That's also cool. It does come with a nice carrying handle. So what would you use this for if you didn't want to use it for solar? Trolling motor is the thing that I think of most. So I used to have a small boat. We called it Boaty. It was a little John boat. And I had nothing gas powered on it. In fact, we couldn't afford it. So we bought a electric trolling motor. It was 43 foot-pounds of thrust. And I bought a very expensive, it was the most expensive deep cell battery I could get at Walmart, probably close to $100 back in the day. Huge battery. Figured I'd be able to cruise the lake all day with that thing. I could, and it would be dead when we got back to the dock. And what I found out quickly was that in half a season I had killed that battery. With this, I could have cruised all day and run the battery down completely, but I would not have killed the battery. This thing can be discharged and charged many thousands of times. I think 5,000 to 7,000 is the norm, but honestly, I hear people saying a whole lot more than that is quite possible and quite doable with these things. Lithium just being a really, really good technology. You could, if you have a bigger boat with a bigger thrust motor, you could connect these in series and you could create 24 volts, and so you could use it to power a bigger motor, electric motor with it. Now, a lot of people do use these, so a lot of RVs, especially like the diesel pushers, they'll have solar backup or they'll have battery backup, so it charges while a diesel is running. And then when you go park for the night, you've got a usually 4 batteries, so a 48 volt system, and you're running AC, you're running a microwave, you're running all that stuff off of it. Those batteries weigh a bunch, and they also go bad. So when you replace them with this, you're losing a whole lot of the weight, and you're able to probably run all your equipment longer. Like I have a fan on right now in here, and it's running, all this that you're seeing right now is running off of solar. And so I could run it longer periods of time with lithium. So RVs and trolling motors would be your other applications for these. You wouldn't really be putting this into a car. You could, but there's no benefit to it, and it's not really designed for that heavy draw. You saw the maximum amperage is about 50 amps. A starter can draw far more than that, so you don't want to hit it with those kind of momentarily heavy loads. It's just not good for it. But yeah, this is going to get installed. This is actually the second to last battery that I'll be installing into my solar setup because I've just about maxed out what the charge controller can handle. But this is going to be part of our solar system. And then in the future, well, we'll probably be adding new solar to this. So it's working so well so far, we're considering not running permanent power up here and just having this be completely off-grid as well. Well, I guess that'll do it. I'll leave a link to where you can pick one of these things up. It's the Goldenmate. Goldenmate, sorry. And it's nice. They're all pretty cool little batteries. If you're interested in getting a battery, hopefully this one will fit your needs. Till next time, my friends, take care.